Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. I am super excited about today's incredible cheesecake recipe. I'm going to show you how to make my triple lemon cheesecake with meringue topping. Now I love all the different flavors and textures of this cheesecake. I start with a lemon shortbread crust, then I make a classic cheesecake batter, flavor it with tons and tons of lemon zest, and then swirl in some homemade lemon curd. And then to take this cheesecake to a whole nother level, I add that meringue topping. It's just so light and fluffy. This cheesecake is not only incredibly stunning, it's also incredibly delicious. And I like to start with my lemon curd to give it a little bit of time to cool down before I use it in my cheesecake. I have 2 whole eggs and 4 egg yolks, and make sure to save those egg whites for the meringue topping. To the eggs, I'm going to add in 1 cup of white granulated sugar. Grab a hand mixer or a whisk and then whisk this for about 4 to 5 minutes until that mixture is thick and pale. And this egg mixture is looking fantastic. See how it ribbons off of my whisk? That's how you want yours to be. And now it's time to add the lemon juice. I have 2/3 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I strained it to remove any pulp. Whisk that in. And to thicken my lemon curd, I have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to mix that together with 2 tablespoons of water. And then I'll pour this into a large saucepan. Turn on my burner to medium heat, and I'm going to cook this lemon curd, stirring constantly for about 4 to 6 minutes until it thickens up and holds its shape on the back of your spatula. And if you get any clumps in your curd while it's cooking, that's okay. You give it a nice vigorous whisk after it's done cooking. And this lemon curd is looking amazing, and it also smells fantastic. And to test for the doneness, all you have to do is take some of the back on your spatula and run a spoon through it, and when it holds its shape, it's all done and ready to go. I'm just going to cover it with a lid and let it cool down while I'm making my batter. And now moving on to the lemon crust, I have 16 of these lemon shortbread cookies. I'm going to place them into my food processor. You're going to need about 1.5 cups of cookie crumbs. Cover this with my lid and pulse the cookies into fine crumbs. Next, pour in 1/3 cup of melted butter. And this butter will help bring all those cookie crumbs together. And pulse that together for about 30 seconds. And transfer this mixture into the bottom of an 8-inch springform pan. And then I'll bake this crust at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. And while my crust is baking, I'm going to get started on my cheesecake batter. I've softened 4 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese to room temperature. Going to open these up and then drop them into my mixing bowl. I'm going to give them a whisk for about 7 to 8 minutes, scraping down the sides of the mixing bowl pretty often until that cream cheese is light and fluffy. Next, I'll add in 1 cup of white granulated sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of sour cream. I know some of you guys don't like the tart flavor of the sour cream. You can replace it with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And give this a mix for a few minutes. And then it's time to start adding the eggs. I'm going to add in 1 egg at a time and give it a good mix after each addition. And make sure you're scraping down the side of that mixing bowl pretty often to get everything incorporated. You don't want any clumps of cream cheese or bits of egg in your cheesecake. And finally, I'm going to add in the zest from 2 large lemons. This is going to add so much amazing lemon flavor to this cheesecake. And give this batter one last mix to get that lemon zest incorporated. And time to put this cheesecake together. I've double wrapped the bottom of my springform pan with foil in preparation for the water bath. So I'm going to pour in about half of my cheesecake batter into the pan. And then I'll add generous dollops of that lemon curd on top. And then you can grab a knife or a little spatula and swirl in that lemon curd. Top that off with the rest of the cheesecake batter. And add more lemon curd on top. And to get a level top cheesecake, I highly recommend preparing a water bath. Super easy, just place the cheesecake into a larger roasting pan or baking dish and then fill the pan up with about 1 inch of water. And my lemon cheesecake is ready to go into the oven. I have mine preheated to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to bake for about 1.5 hours, hour and 45 minutes. You want the outside to be nicely set and that center to be just slightly wobbly, and then turn the oven off and let the cake cool in the oven for about 1 hour with the oven door open just a bit, and then we'll come back to add our meringue topping. My cheesecake is all done and cooling, and now I'm going to get started on my meringue topping. And I have the 4 egg whites that are reserved from earlier. I'm going to place the egg whites into a very clean mixing bowl, and I actually washed this one with a degreasing soap and a little bit of vinegar to get any oil out of there. I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That will help stabilize the egg whites. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then I'll start adding my sugar a few tablespoons at a time, and I have 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar. And time to transfer the meringue onto my cheesecake, and unfortunately got a little crack going there, but it'll be totally fine. We're gonna add that meringue on top. So once you add in all that sugar, just whisk on high speed for about 5 minutes until that meringue is stiff and glossy. And then just gently pile it right on top. I'm gonna grab a spoon and gently push this down. And this is going back into the oven. I'm gonna raise the temperature up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna bake for about 15 to 18 minutes, just until the edges of the meringue get a nice golden brown touch on them. I just took this out of the oven, and I'm gonna use my kitchen torch to add a little bit more color to the meringue. And I'm going to let this cake sit at room temperature for a couple hours until it's cooled down. Then I'll place it into the refrigerator to cool overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow to give this a try. My cheesecake is all set. I let it set in the refrigerator overnight, but check out the volume of this fluffy meringue on top. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Time to dig in and give this a try. I'm going to scoop right through the cheesecake, get myself a little bit of everything. Wow, this is so good. Seriously though, this cheesecake is so light and fluffy. It's like biting into a lemon cloud. So airy, so much volume, and I love that sweet flavor from the meringue and the cheesecake combined with that tart and tangy lemon flavor from the lemon zest, the lemon curd. If you love lemons, this is hands down the recipe for you. One of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. Seriously, head down into my video description box. You'll find a link that'll take you over to my blog. You can print this recipe off and of course share with your family and friends. Hope you guys enjoyed this lemon meringue cheesecake, and I'll see you next time with another recipe.